We're doing a revision of a revision and showing how a revision is shown within a revision.
This is so funny.
COVID woman.
I'm getting grade. This is a template. Grade isn't for content.
Webmural Breakdown. This is a show where design agency owners break down websites to the molecular level. Art director Arsen Berezowski evaluates visual style, branding, typography, and colors, while marketer Mikhailo Yemchura analyzes marketing, copywriting, user experience, and business aspects. Want to know what really makes a website successful? Watch our show, develop your visual literacy, and learn from the experience of professionals.
Friends, you can get almost $75 for free. We'll give a promo code for publishing 3 websites on Webmural to whoever leaves the most interesting comment. We'll pick the winner in the next video and give them the code. Write your comments.
Alright friends, let's get started with a review. As usual, we go to the main page of Webmural, then to the website section by categories, and we're interested in the newest ones. We constantly monitor the freshest, newest sites that Ukrainian designers submit to Webmural.
Oh, I see someone I know, Yevhen.
Yeah, Yevhen is our designer who always comes to the design reviews and is very active in the chat. We can start with him.
Let's do it.
Let's pay tribute to Yevhen for his constant support. SAS, Locker. Yeah, it looks super sassy at first glance. A super sass pattern, central composition, lots of text, an offer, a subtitle, buttons, and you can see a kind of cliffhanger with a part of the platform itself. If it is a platform, because I see it says SaaS website production here. So let's remind ourselves once again, I'll be looking at the visuals. Misha will focus on UX and marketing. So from a visual standpoint, on the first screen, I can definitely say I like this light animation. It feels like, I don't know, either we're underwater and seeing rays of sunlight breaking through the dense water in the darkness. Or maybe, I don't know, we're in some dark room or a cave. Imagine freely, everyone sees differently. It sets a mood. Aside from this light effect, I don't really know what else I could like visually, because everything here is very simple. It's just a black background, and how many layers do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 layers of elements. To be honest, I don't really like it when so many things are stacked on top of each other, especially text blocks. It really looks bulky. It's also hard to find the context here. Content, it's all just content to me. Here you could try breaking up the composition so it's not centered, but aligned to the left edge, and maybe use other columns to play some other parts of the text. Or maybe play around with the text in some other way, because it's a bit hard to read all of this, although in terms of hierarchy, it seems like Yevhen did a good job. We have a clear tag, there's an offer that's larger, plus some important words highlighted in yellow. So something like that. There's not much to say about the first screen because it's done quite simply. The contrast is nice, like yellow and black. Well, that's good, it works.
And the logo is it a mountain or a key?
Yeah, you made a really good point about the logo.
Clear what it is.
It's not clear. Well, locker is some kind of lock, right? So it's probably related to that. It's also pill-shaped, kind of like a button.
You a button.
Maybe it's some kind of stylistic choice. Maybe something will happen when you scroll.
Go ahead.
Seems odd. As a marketer, what do I think? I like that the target client for the SAS website is immediately and very clearly defined what for. It's clear they'll create something on the site. But the block at the bottom, we design, launch, maintain market sites, paragraph. It's very, very wordy, and basically it says nothing.
We help design, launch, and maintain marketing sites. Years of experience, focus on tasks, and so on and so on. If SaaS has already been chosen as the ICP, then I think it would be better to state more clearly here that we will help you validate and showcase all your features on a single site, and we'll run A/B tests for your pricing strategies. Some more specific and tailored solutions that are particularly needed for SaaS companies, because right now the offer actually sounds much more like an offer for any company that simply needs a website. Also, I don't really understand the Get Growth Points button. Maybe this is already speaking to a super niche, but probably getting an intro deck or getting a pricing deck or booking a call, I think, oh, okay, here it's about a discovery call.
A discovery call,
but the button isn't for a discovery call. So these 2 buttons, discovery call, okay.
both lead same thing.
One discovery call button is a must-have. Of course, you need to have it, but book a process tour, that's also very complicated.
Basically, both of them just take us to a discovery call, but the names of these buttons, in my opinion, are really strange.
Yeah, they're not targeted.
Book a process tour, well, what is that usually? Book a demo is what SaaS companies do when you want to see a demo of their platform. But this isn't about that. And Get Growth Points is completely unclear. We work with SaaS. I don't get what they mean. Get growth points.
Here you could, for example,
Get
points, scores.
growth points? growth scores.
The thing is, here you could have diversified the call to action for clients at different stages of the funnel. For people who have questions about your pricing, it would be important to ask, do you want to know the price? Get to know the price or pricing policy and redirect the person either to your deck or still redirect them to book with this call to action, or download our presentation, which will also include in the presentation an invitation either to a demo or to something else. You need to diversify these calls to action for people who are already at different stages of making their decisions.
Throughout the site, these calls to action change their wording.
And vary. Here, it's really cool. You see they're already starting to highlight their expertise.
They're showing what should be on a SaaS website for it to work. This is their case, like DigitalOcean, showing you need a product category in the hero section, a benefit in the home, and so on.
You know what I'm really feeling right now?
Reversal.
In some matrix, we're reviewing a review and showing how a review is presented within a review.
Here it's not bad, it's cool how they instantly show their expertise. They understand every element on screen. They don't explain all this.
It's a really great idea.
Yeah, and then right away the social proofs kick in.
I have to say, I've never seen anything like this before.
This solution?
Yes.
Actually, I don't come across sites like this often. Everything is great here. The company logo,
Reviews.
position, name, 5 stars. Maybe add a logo so it's clear what the stars mean, real or not.
No one actually reads this, but it registers subconsciously.
It gives that badge vibe.
Marketers instantly recognize these funnels, and for them, this is the symbol of a funnel. They already see one of their own among peers. So even just visualizing the funnel this quickly, by the 3rd week in the block, is already a winning idea.
So are they showing how the funnel works? The user visits the website, trusts the company, understands the product, sees what makes it different.
It's giving the client an opportunity to audit themselves.
Well, visually it actually looks pretty good.
I really like it, to be honest.
It seems like this thing could have been shown better. Maybe you could center this funnel somehow, because there's a bit of a visual imbalance here. This part is much higher than this block. This is centered, and now there are 2 columns. Honestly, aesthetically, I can see that it could have been done better. Maybe only on hover, since these things were highlighted for us. Why? At first, I didn't really understand what these questions were for. When I hovered over it, I realized they were connected. Otherwise, it seems strange to me.
Makes sense.
So only this thing, when you hover, a question appears on the side, and you're like, this question, that, another.
So there's no room for guessing.
Yeah, like that. A small thing in the corner, a little light bulb. What does this text say? They're pressing on the pane. Neatly in all caps at the bottom, we haven't used all caps anywhere else. And here it appeared like that. Moving on, shift forward. Product-led growth. Websites are always websites that feel this way. I also think the contrast is weak. If this is before and this is after, the contrast is really minimal.
Well, those highlights and gradients were already there.
The pane isn't highlighted much, and the solution the company offers isn't highlighted much either. Again, visually, as I said, I think it's not highlighted enough here. Maybe some backgrounds, something could be added to this block somehow, and
maybe show that they're swapping it around. That is, they're moving it somewhere.
some kind of icon. If there was already a funnel illustration, I would try to
Continue further.
place it here, because right now they are just rectangles. Not everyone realizes that this is also about the funnel. I would take the same one here and show the icon, add more contrast, and highlight the right part of the screen again with some blur, yellow, or make it gray here to really emphasize this demonstration of a strong changes, how it was like this before. And here we're making changes and it will be like this.
Actually, looking at it now, as the cards about this company are being revealed, everything is explained very competently. This is essentially their key offer.
Basically, these are their services described here. Yeah, their solutions. This is an audit, user feedback summary, website. They even build some campaigns. I like this. The illustrations work really well, and these cards are cool. The animations are top tier. That's exactly what I felt was missing in this block, honestly. Task groups, they build task groups.
That's really how they work.
2 groups per month do 2 sets of tasks. Aha, and here you can click around, deliver these results with 1 group per month.
This is already pretty complicated, though the dates are current. The 15th, they scripted it here.
Yeah.
This isn't clear.
Yeah, it's actually hard to understand. But as I understand it, they're just showing that they can do it within a month or 2.
No, this is the site's performance, how it will look, because we have...
In 1 or 2 months, well, thanks to their work, I mean, moving what else?
I think we're already scrolling now.
Pretty long.
The 6th, maybe 8th screen. We still haven't seen a single case yet. Apparently it would have been hard to show them.
Good point. Pricing 3,000 per group. Honestly, I've never heard of this, that they price it by groups. And finally, here are the cases.
Oh no.
Bricky, IP, DigitalOcean, Unbounce, a review. And what's this? Other features of our system. Some new icons have appeared. Here they're selling the pain points again, right? Like low conversions and so on. Now, everything we're going to do, oh wow, it's so long. We've only made it halfway through so far. Playbook, some kind of animations.
I'm curious if they actually have statistics on how much people scroll, like the depth of viewing on this site, because we're interested just to look through it. And honestly, we're already actually quite tired here.
How much can you take?
Honestly, you can only look at and absorb so much information at any given time.
Yeah, and what's really interesting is that there's just a ton of information in every block. Text, text, statistics, text, text, text. Listen, if we want someone to make it all the way here and actually schedule a call, I don't know, it seems to me
the buttons don't stand out. It's honestly difficult, and it's black on black too.
There's no dynamic until the bottom. Everything is dark all the time.
It's quite classy. Such a big site and only 4 cases.
There should have been cases higher up.
Yeah, they could have mentioned the niches they built those SaaS products in.
Honestly, you know, there are these guys, I showed this once somewhere called Endless Design. We partner with founders and startups to create high converting, meaningful and purpose-driven design for users. Well, it's the same thing. And that's their whole site. They showcase their cases. You see exactly what they do directly. And you see how much it costs starting from 10,000. One project takes 1 to 3 months. Book a call chat. That's it. Honestly, I like this more.
I like it, but this is the kind of format where you're always sitting somewhere in San Francisco, you know, drinking coffee or rough or something in their cafes, and you can just send over this endless design to commit with someone you already know.
I think it's simply better to show something just once than to tell about it 20 times.
You also need to see in what context this works, if this site is part of a funnel or a sales funnel.
Is that shown there?
Well, we can only guess there. It's just that if you have more information on the site, then you can insert it into different funnels, like from Clutch, from Behance, and so on. People with different levels of commitment can come in, like to get acquainted, to learn about your company, to find out the price, to see how you work, or to check out your case studies. So there are a lot of different questions you can answer.
Wish, Linktree, Rainbow, WAP, Frame.
Well, yeah, but you understand that if you have contracts with clients like these, then you're not a freelancer. You're not some Mr. Freelancer somewhere in Lviv near Strojski Park.
In short, that's an extreme. That's great. And that's the other extreme. Ideally, there should be something in the middle. Let's sum up 20 minutes so we can wrap things up.
For marketing, I'm giving it 9 points here. I'm taking off 1 point. Why? Because it's not perfect. First of all, it's very long. Secondly, I would switch the order of the cases. What you do, then how you do it, and how much it costs, and so on and so on. Everything else is really great.
Well, that's actually a good score you gave. It's rare to hear that. For the visuals, I would give it, I think, 6 out of 10, because there are a lot of typical identical blocks and a lot of slightly different graphics. Somewhere we have just regular vector icons, and somewhere else we suddenly have super illustrative ones, as if it's some kind of watercolor. Somewhere we had a photo, some kind of graphic, and somewhere else there were gradients. Honestly, I think there are too many types of graphics. Plus, as I said, you could make it more interesting here, highlight some areas with contrast, make it look nicer. On the first screen, I think you could have played more with the information and the composition of the elements. So I think it's a solid 7 out of 10.
It was a 6.
A6.
It was a 6.
A 6. So 9 out of 10. 6 out of 10. I think that's a good result. Thank you, Yevhen, for sharing your website. We'll move on now.
Now we're going to pick a winner from the previous video. The person who left the funniest, wittiest comment. We actually did that before recording this video. We found Kloch Odin, who wrote a funny comment 5 days ago that got 5 likes. Kloch Odin, please write to us on Instagram, either to Arsen or to me, and we'll give you a promo code for publishing on Webmural.
3 sites on Webmural. Congratulations. So friends, the next site for today, I really like this story for some reason. Yes, this was made by Lumininos. Who are they? Anyway, Lumininos agency.
1 site.
No description, nothing at all.
Who you are.
Okay.
Let's take a look.
Some Counter-Strike.
Ooh.
Headshot. Airsoft Club, okay. Airsoft is a team-based tactical game under the conditions of bam, 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 bam. Register now.
It's the first I've seen a call to action button on the left.
Same here, it's really tough.
Menu, it's on the right.
And everything is so gray, like it's inactive, you know, an inactive state. Ah, look at this cursor.
Maybe that's how it is in Counter-Strike. Well, the interface, I haven't played in a long time.
They weren't inspired by Counter-Strike. The side menu, definitely.
But the call to actions, the menu, are they swapped around or something?
There aren't really any call to actions like that there. No, that's already the UX, and it changes like that when you hover over it. It's a bit difficult for me. It really looks super gamer-like if it didn't say here, this is an Airsoft club. I would have thought it was some kind of Counter-Strike tournament or a computer club, or a site where they sell Counter-Strike skins.
It's great that it's actually written here. Many sites, as we've seen in review, don't mention this. What and why is this? That's the most common mistake.
One thing about the visuals, what we see is that all the inspiration came from the game Counter-Strike. It's not bad, but I think it's a bit too much. I wouldn't want to take characters straight from the game. Okay, maybe these aren't the exact characters, but stylistically they're very similar to those in Counter-Strike. And as a result, they also look like game characters. I think I would prefer a bit more realism, and here you could play around with combinations. Like using those patterns, fonts, gradients, and buttons from the game, but using real photos to sell the idea that this is an actual club.
I'm actually curious about the concept of this site, who it was created for. So if this is a club, is the main goal for people to visit and register, or is the main goal to teach as many people as possible and explain what airsoft is?
It doesn't quite work.
Because it's kind of an edutainment site.
And here comes some Russian. Gotcha. Here there's Ukrainian registration, Russian, and here the button doesn't work. It's actually a bit strange. I have some really mixed feelings about this site.
It's inconsistent.
It's inconsistent, it feels unreal, unclear. The hero section is weird. Same with the navbar. It feels like this site is from 2015. These crossed out separators between the words. This little line at the bottom, it's a bit strange. Okay, maybe let's scroll down and take a look further. Headshot. Okay, running. We're not chasing quantity. You'll appreciate this difference. There's way too much text.
Quantity of what, may I ask?
Gray buttons are here.
They conflict with each other. The first block is edutainment. They explain to as wide an audience as possible what airsoft is in order to get as many people as possible involved in this game.
Yes.
You scroll down, we're not chasing quantity, but your first communication isn't for those who already play. It's to encourage everyone who's interested, to encourage those who are interested, to encourage.
There should be something here, but it disappeared. And also, when everything is gray, it also seems kind of broken, inactive. That is, the button only turns green when you hover over it. I'd leave it green by default, and when you hover, maybe make it a darker green.
Maybe that's how it was intended, it's just...
The only thing I like here is this crosshair, which shrinks when you hover over it, similar to Counter-Strike. For now, I don't know more. All scenarios, and here you can view all services.
Or maybe it's not finished yet, because everything is repeating.
Like our scenarios are game modes. See, here you have things like capture the flag, team-based tactical play.
And what's over there? Plant the flag. And the first one is capture the flag.
Left blank. Here, scenario. There, service. The communication is a bit odd. How to participate. Submit an application, confirm your arrival at the field. It annoys me that websites often have blocks. Step 1, 2, 3. To contact us, click submit application, then we'll confirm, then you arrive.
That's a proper step.
But come on, this is super basic.
That's why it's not obvious how you're supposed to start the game. So do you have to call or leave an application?
I think either way works.
Or message them directly.
You can apply through the website or by phone. Confirmation is like bam, 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 then arrival at the field. Our news, this was probably all generated by artificial intelligence. Finally, more photos. I'm all about airsoft here. It would be great if you could put a photo like this right up front so it's clear it's not fake reviews. I liked everything. Frequently asked questions, also great. How to get into Headshot and the photo Instagram, WhatsApp, Telegram.
I just think that maybe we could lower the score a bit here, or at least not deduct so many points since there are still some services left unfilled. Maybe this site just isn't finished yet. That's why it hasn't been translated yet. And that's why so many confusing situations arise here. If it actually is finished now, then you have a chance to improve it, taking our comments into account.
Don't you have any questions when you see the card?
They arise. Well, what if you click on it?
Well, it's empty.
There are no products either.
If there were products, then you could buy something. But then they would have hidden it here, since it's strange too.
I think, now that I look at it, actually this is the idea behind Headshot as
Counter-Strike.
It's like airsoft, where you can play, buy, book more precisely, book and play, book a game and buy yourself equipment for it. And here, it would probably be worth dividing the main function still. The landing page should focus on the fact that you book everything you want, you play, how to book. Here are the cases, here are the scenarios.
The shop, arrow up, a separate website.
A separate page or another website on a different one.
That's what, yes, creates confusion.
Just separate these two entities and you'll win right away. And then you won't need to explain what airsoft is, because most likely that explanation is only relevant for the e-commerce store. It excludes it. How many points would you give this site's visuals?
Boom, 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 boom. It really annoys me to register the name.
Everything annoys me, honestly. Even this thing here, it's unclear how to read it. In short, there are a lot of questions. It would be better for you to hire an SEO specialist and a copywriter who can structure all of this. Then a designer will be able to visually continue and enhance the text and communication, because right now it's a bit inconsistent, as we said, upshot. The how to get here button should be right in the first section, a how to find us button, so that when you click it, there would be a marker, a point on the location. Because sometimes people, if they've agreed during customization, say, let's play airsoft in different spots, different places in the city. How do I get to headshot? You type in headshot, go to the website, the first button, bam, it maps out the whole route and you're on your way.
And the phone number in the header, it's not there either. It appears, but here, like, this block is created just to show the number. This whole thing is just the application confirmation. Wait, but everyone understands that when you submit an application, you'll be expecting a confirmation. I just get rid of 2 or 3 of these. Honestly, I'd remove this whole block altogether and instead just add the phone number here.
Maybe if you scroll down now, I see that the last step is to prepare the address and the map will be provided upon arrival for your convenience. Maybe the address is different, although I doubt it. You can't just play airsoft anywhere. There are designated locations, 5 or 6 locations.
Now, with martial law in country, people can't run around random places.
They have 2 or 3 abandoned factories where they can play.
So the potential is great, but the execution leaves much to be desired. The very idea, the concept of building this around the gamification of Counter-Strike is wow and super. But the actual implementation of this idea for me is 5 out of 10, 4 out of 10, 4 out of 10.
Well, imagine if this is an airsoft club and you walk into this airsoft club even from another perspective. If there are many locations, you can't just have one location. The second block could be a block with maps. As if you're choosing a map and giving them some code names, not calling it the factory on Doroshenko Street, but naming them after maps from Counter-Strike, Italy, Assault. You could name them like that and add photos to these locations. So before a participant plays at this location, they could look and choose a sort of map where they'll play together. It's like something was borrowed here, but not completely.
A lot is missing, yeah.
This could have been developed much more strongly.
5 out of 10?
Well, for marketing, I think it's also a 4 here. The concept is cool, but it's inconsistent. It's not, well, it's unclear. There's a lot of conflict in the communication between the first, second, third, and other sections, and in the concept of the site itself.
What is this for?
Is it for booking events? Is it for purchasing? Or is it for educating people that this game even exists? Because the communication on this site suggests all of these things we're listing. Or he's just not ready.
Lately, a lot of new viewers have been joining our channel. We really appreciate it. We very grateful to you for this. So if you still haven't subscribed, please click the subscribe button, like this video, and you'll be supporting us very, very, very much. Thank you. Let's take a look on our end.
Let's do it. Andriy Nesterenko.
Andriy Nesterenko, no code developer, Web3 and fintech designer. See Andriy's page.
Quick. I wonder why his nickname is Khutko.
I think the agency is called Khutko.
Trust Odia AI.
Ooh, the logo kind of reminds me of Trusty.
Trust Odia.
Look about key aspects, problem, solution, technology, roadmap. You can see that on 4K, it's not really well adapted, in my opinion. It's made more for a MacBook. Let's see. What do we have here? Well, obviously it's an assistant.
Just an assistant. That's all.
All right, let's do it this way, friends. The visuals are interesting, the gradient background is cool, the logo is cool, but the menu items aren't obvious, they're very dark in my opinion. The menu items really draw a lot of attention to themselves, and of course there's a woman generated somewhere in mid-journey with a bubble behind her. Again, we always want to evaluate design within its context. It's unclear what exactly this assistant is for or which niche it's meant for.
It doesn't say here.
Well, that's the problem in my opinion. Let's move on. This is here, something's a bit broken.
Well, it's an assistant, you see. It's gonna help you. It'll probably integrate into your phone and help you do everything on your phone. And you won't be afraid.
What are you doing?
Well, I just see book tickets. It's a cool feature and it won't leak data from your phone anywhere.
That would be nice. Visually, I actually like it. Looks nice. You can tell it's a kind of VIP thing on a whitelist. So they didn't work much on this. It's a landing page for the whitelist where they'll gather people, get investments. Obviously, this will probably be improved, at least on the first screen. But it still kind of triggers me that it's just a girl. You know, maybe if she was holding a mobile phone or something, but it's just a girl.
The girl is not simply a product.
An unbuttoned shirt? Yeah, I mean...
Yeah, it's not.
It's a bit strange.
The icons are cool, modern, it's Halo.
Yeah, they're nice, really nice. I like it. And I like the font. And I like how they use that element from the logo, like the little plus sign inside with that thing as a decorative element. It looks pretty cool.
There are a couple of ideas. They showed something about shopping, something with tickets, but we don't see more innovation. Do they have a team? 2023, 2024. It's 2025.
This is funny. This is cringe series.
Like COVID.
Yeah, those bubbles.
COVID woman.
Save the girl. Ready to join? I'm not sure I'm ready.
I'm not ready to join. Why the team who's making this? Why is it trustworthy? Who's behind this? Most likely they have a designer doing all this. Why didn't the designer provide more screenshots for users to visualize?
Maybe it's just a concept, I don't know. To me, this doesn't seem like a real product.
It's not a real product, it's just like a whitelist. That's what they're collecting.
I understand it, but it's a real product.
A potentially real product that seems poorly thought out. You see these things, not this one, nothing works, there's nothing there. It's just a whitelist, a fake site. Is this a good strategy?
Unclear.
Unclear.
Greeting security. All right, let's wrap it up. Visual
Marketing,
Go ahead.
3 points, 2 points, 2 points.
For visuals, I'd give it 8 out of 10. Do you know why? Because like the design is actually pretty nice.
Here I want to point out the first site got 6 points.
Yeah.
I don't think the first site.
Look, that's the thing. I'm just rating the visuals. I'm just delegating that to you. Of course, if I were rating both the copywriting and the message right now, I'd say the same as you.
All right, I get it. Here, the design variety on display here.
The visual design here is 8 out of 10. If only the first site had blocks like these. Some 3D elements from the logo here and there. Some case screenshots, I would easily give that an 8 as well. I like the diverse fonts, I like the logo, I like the icons, I like the gradient, I like the 3D elements. So yes, that's how it is.
If you're a designer and haven't registered on Webmural yet, it's a platform where you can publish your portfolio quickly and easily. We invite you to do so using the link below the video, Webmural Co.
Let's look at the 4th site for today. This one is about body repair and car painting. Maria Antoniuk. Profile. Development of corporate websites. I handle the full development cycle, from writing texts to a fully finished and usable website. Impressive. There was one German site and now we have this one. Bodybuilder Tesla Jupp. This is from the same holding company.
I really like the name a lot.
Holding company.
Wow.
Well, visually I'm already a bit thrown off, even my glasses are slipping. My glasses are slipping just like the navbar on this site. Right away, yeah, the first question is why did the navbar shift like that? It's neither centered nor aligned to the left nor to the right. It just went off somewhere. Let's add a phone number here. These menu items should be centered. On hover, I don't know. I always consider the standard underline to be bad taste. It's a very generic solution. I would advise not using an underline at all, unless you want to create a custom line that appears nicely on hover. Moving on. Besides that, the logo is really powerful, honestly. It feels extremely underground to me.
A gear, a car, some kind of Elon Musk, Aston Martin.
Well, according to all the canons of
Letter.
Logo design, somewhere from the 80s.
And one letter is replaced with a wheel, but it's that kind of wheel, like a chariot wheel, from a horse.
Yeah, but we're talking about bodywork, body repair, car painting. That's a weird slash.
It was an SEO query.
But what if we did it here? Or like, why even put this slash here? I don't know. Well, it's a bit...
Keep reading. 15 years of experience offering professional services.
Book an appointment. The button.
Where's the deed?
It created a margin without... To find out the preliminary cost, send a photo of the damage. Send the photos of the damage here.
Well, that's fine.
Book an appointment takes us to...
That's a lot of fields.
The info here is tiny. It's crazy. I accepted privacy policy. The main one stands out. Highlight it. Go here next.
Nice, the button says close, not access. Why do people trust us? We have many years of experience and a team of professionals, 15 years they've been working.
We can call them. It's hard to judge the visuals. For the target audience, the site might be fine.
It seems this might be some kind of template. They just put photos and text onto this template.
That could actually be the case, because again, the issue is part is blue, part is black, and there's no consistency. It's unclear what to make black or blue. Here it's blue again, but here it's already gray. Prices for car repair and painting.
Actually, it's fine. It's really not obvious how to show what costs how much.
Bumper, sill, trunk, but the size is odd.
If you're really thinking about car painting, you won't want to go back to body repair.
Yeah, everything disappears here. Oh, what a nice thing in the background, like on those maps.
Landscape.
Book an appointment. What do people say about us?
Drive, black and white, left yellow.
Oh, that's our little gear, contacts and footer. So, well, honestly, visually, well, for me, it's actually quite difficult. There are actually a lot of things here that could be better, from the choice of font to the navbar, which should have been placed better. Well, here, they overuse this.
This is definitely a template.
Maybe it's a template, then it's hard to evaluate.
100% a template that they just filled in. I'm just asking the question, well, will it actually work? Honestly, this site covers most of the questions. How much does it cost? How do you submit it for evaluation before and after? What do you do? Some minimal reviews?
It's missing prices, but they're right here.
So you can see an idea, and the rest is filled in specifically.
I'll get ratings because this is a template, and now it's not about the content.
This site, it works, it fulfills its function for the price it was made for. So I think the client will be super satisfied because they probably didn't spend too much money here, and potential customers will get most of the answers they need at the moment when their car is damaged. I give this site 9 out of 10 from a marketing perspective.
Nice. Well, I'll refrain because this is most likely a template. It's hard to judge visually here. Thank you, friends. Goodbye, everyone. See you in the next episode.